Ever heard of Hoopla Digital? Maybe your local library offers it and you just haven't taken advantage of it yet. Well, I've got the video for you today that should have all the details in case you're interested. Hey there, book lovers. So in my previous Kindle Unlimited video, I did mention ways to support your local libraries and figured I would do a video on Hoopla Digital to kind of reinforce that. For those of you who aren't familiar with what Hoopla is, it is a library-based service that provides access to a wide range of digital media. It is something that libraries can pay into and opt into for their patrons to have access to a catalog of ebooks, audiobooks, comic books, magazines, music, movies, TV shows, just a whole host of digital titles and media options for patrons. Which, you know, could be a good alternative, especially considering, like I said, mentioned in my previous video, if as libraries are potentially having, you know, delays in getting physical copies of new releases, or just, you know, having really long wait lists for some of those books, digital titles might be, you know, a good way to kind of offset that. And Hoopla is one of those providers that a lot of libraries are using to do that. So Hoopla allows library patrons to have access to this digital catalog with their library card at their participating library locations. They can access titles either through the Hoopla app or through their website and via their web browser at hoopladigital.com. The lending limits for the different types of media and different titles vary depending on, you know, what your local library has agreed upon with Hoopla. So it will look different based on, you know, from library system to library system. And I am going to show you guys what it looks like on mine through what the library system that I'm a part of. But just understand that if you're part of a different library system, your lending and borrowing, your catalog might look different. Your borrowing limits may be different just based on what your library has selected or budgeted with their Hoopla package. Just to give you guys an example, I was previously part of a library system that only used Hoopla for comic books, TV shows, music. I think they may have done movies, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. But they didn't really use Hoopla for ebooks. They used a different service for their ebook catalog. Whereas the one I'm a part of now, I get access to ebooks, audiobooks, TV, music, movies, comic books, like the whole deal. So that's an example of the fact that, you know, it's going to vary among different library systems. So just be aware of that. So some examples of those set loan periods that I mentioned for different types of titles and formats of digital media. Would be movies are generally allowed to be checked out for 3 days, 7 days for music, 21 days for books, and there's a month. Hoopla allows a monthly borrowing limit. Again, those limits are going to vary from library to library, just based on what the library system has kind of set up with Hoopla, and it kind of comes down to what the library has budgeted for that, and what package, I guess, they have chosen within Hoopla, Hoopla's setup. So yeah, there's going to be some variation there. So now that you've seen kind of a rundown of what Hoopla is, let's take a look at what Hoopla looks like in action. You know, what it looks like on the app, what it looks like, you know, on the web browser, just to kind of take a look. All right, so this is what the Hoopla app looks like for those of you who aren't familiar with it. I'm showing it to you on my Amazon Fire tablet. It's also available to use on an Android or iPhone or any other compatible Android or Apple device, like a tablet, anything like that. I mostly use it on my phone, but I figured it was easier to show you guys on the tablet here. So it does, when you load it up, it does have a banner on here that kind of flips just on its own, kind of showing you know, what there is to offer. I imagine that differs from library system to library system, just because the catalog is, like I said, going to differ based on the library system and what your library system has available, that sort of thing, as to what they have to offer. But the top row is going to show you, if I can kind of show what you're on the home page. You can cycle through like audiobooks, ebooks, movies, at least on mine, television, comics, binge passes, which is another thing that I wasn't aware until I was doing research for this video that my library even offers. So a binge pass is something that my library offers that you can check out, that allows you to access to a collection of like an individual platform for like I think it's what I've seen when I was looking on it, and I can go into it a bit more in depth on the web browser, was like television and movies catalogs of things that you can check out for. On my end for my library system is a checkout of 7 days, which is kind of cool. And I'll go a bit more in depth on that. But on the app here, it shows what I've recently borrowed. I use Hoopla a lot personally for audiobooks and music, just because that's a really easy way for me to just kind of, you know, plug earbuds in on my phone and kind of listen to things. I have used it for comic books in the past. Like I said, my previous library system, that was what I had access to. I didn't have access to ebooks. One thing to note with Hoopla is ebooks. You can read ebooks on through the app in their native e-reader. But you can't read them on like a Kindle. So if you have an Amazon Fire tablet or any sort of tablet where you can read through the app, you are able to read ebooks. But if you have something like a Kindle Colorsoft or something that's not able to load the app specifically, you're kind of limited as far as being able to read ebooks that way. So that is a downside. I don't tend to read a ton of ebooks via Hoopla. I get that through a different service that my library offers that I will cover in an upcoming video for sure. So be on the lookout for that one. But yeah, if you keep scrolling here, it does give me popular binge passes. There's Hallmark. There's a bunch of great courses videos. There's a bunch of like a collection of magazines. It does have a trending tab where you can kind of scroll through and see what's trending on Hoopla, and it will give you some titles if you're looking for something and you're not sure what to read. It'll kind of give you some ideas there. It gives you some popular instant books, instant ebooks that are available without a wait list. Hoopla does have a wait list on digital copies, which I know is a bit of weird thing to wait for a digital copy, but it does happen. But it will tell you in here whether it's available to instantly download and listen to or read if it's an audiobook, to listen to, ebook if it's to read it, or comic or what have you. It will let you know if it's instant versus if there is a wait list. It also tells you what the format of each thing is here, under movies, it'll say movie, that sort of thing. Music, so there's a bunch of different fun soundtracks. Music is usually, at least for me, is a week checkout. And if you click into one, so like if you click into something, it will tell you, right, audiobooks are 21 days if you borrow it. That sort of deal. Let me get back there. If you hit back, it will take you all the way back to the top. But yeah, so there's that. You can also go into my Hoopla. It will tell you how many instant borrows you have remaining for the month. My library, I believe, gives me 12 borrows a month, and you have 5 flex borrows. I have 5 flex borrows remaining. Flex borrows, so you can those you can get more if you return them. But if you return one of your monthly borrows, you don't get those back, is my understanding. And then it just tells you like what you've recently returned, what you currently have borrowed. It'll show you your holds, your requests, your favorites, that sort of thing. I don't really have any of those, so there's nothing to click into there. And it'll have your settings and a search bar there that you can click into. So it's pretty easy to navigate. It's really easy to navigate, really easy to kind of tap into and look around for stuff. But yeah, just a really wide catalog of stuff to look through. The Hoopla Digital website view for you guys. This is really helpful if you say you have a TV show or a movie checked out that you would rather watch on a computer screen versus a phone or a tablet screen, or if you have your computer connected to a larger monitor or projector or your television screen. It's just something that's a little bit bigger to connect to if you want to have the option to watch TV and movies on a bigger screen. It's also a nicer option because a lot of apps don't also have a website option. So this is just nice, a nicer option to have if it's just another option to have to browse, which is always nice. But again, same as the app, it's going to have this banner that just automatically scrolls that shows popular things that Hoopla is advertising within the catalog that is offered through your library system. So your banner might look different than mine if your library system offers different titles or different digital formats than what mine is currently offering. Like if your library doesn't offer ebooks or binge passes or what have you, then it may not have some of these titles in this scrolling banner. It's also going to show your the number of instant borrows you have remaining this month, as well as how many flex borrows you have remaining currently. I mentioned these two a little bit briefly in the app in the previously when I was going through the app, and didn't really know the difference between the two because I'm not as familiar with the flex borrows as I am with the instant borrows. So the instant borrows are going to have this little lightning bolt here on them, and what they are is they are copies of digital titles that are able to be checked out by multiple patrons at one time, which means they don't require a wait list. And so you can just check them out instantly. And and they can go to multiple people at one time, that sort of deal. The flex borrows are going to have this little circular arrow notation on them. And if they are available to check out, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit to kind of show you guys, if they're available to check out, you can check them out right then and read them, but they are only available to one patron at one time. If they are checked out and not available, they will say wait list on them, and I'm not showing any, of course, when I want to show you. I'm not showing any that say waitlist on them. It looks like these are all available currently on this little list here. But if they say waitlist on them, that means you would click on it and you would have to add yourself to the waitlist and put it on hold. And then you would be notified when your when you came up in the hold list to be able to check that title out. But that's the difference between the instant and versus the flex borrows. And those, like I said, those borrow limits numbers could differ depending on what your library system has set up for its particular system with what they have set up with Hoopla. Again, it has recommendations based on what you've previously checked out. It has some more like recent favorites based on previous checkouts. It also will have the same. It looks very similar. It's set up very similarly to the app, so it's not as confusing. You're not dealing with a different layout. It's very similar in that it's got like the trending titles as well. One thing I did want to mention, I did say I was going to go into in a bit more detail on here, it's because it was easier on the website versus the app, was something that I was not aware that my library offered until I was doing research for this video. And that was binge passes. So let me get back to, so what binge passes are, allows you access to stream videos, books, magazines, without like a monthly subscription fee. So like there's a ton of different like platform type collections that you potentially could need under other circumstances you would need a separate subscription for. But if it's something your library system offers through Hoopla, you could get the access to it through Hoopla with a binge pass, where you could, check one of these out for like a week, I think is the checkout period. And there's just a bunch of different titles. Like there's a BBC binge pass that has a bunch of different BBC dramas that normally you would have to maybe have a BritBox subscription or some other subscription to be able to have access to some of this. I know Call the Midwife is on one of these. That was really interesting to me because a lot of those are either on a PBS subscription or Netflix or something like that, or you'd have to have like the physical DVDs, which is how I've been able to watch a lot of those. So I mean, it's a really great option if it's something would be interesting to take advantage of, that I didn't know existed. So that was really fun to find out. Just a lot of stuff. But yeah, so Hoopla just has a huge catalog of stuff, and you could spend, I don't know how much time looking through here and searching and trying to see what all is here. I hope seeing the Hoopla app and the Hoopla website was helpful to you guys, to, maybe give you an idea of if your library system offers it and you just haven't really looked into it much. Maybe that gives you an idea of if it's something that you could make good use of. If it's maybe seeing it helps you give an idea if it's something you might be interested in using. That trending titles tab did kind of give me an idea. Scrolling through it for research for this video kind of gave me some titles to pull out. and share with you guys. So the first one I have is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This one is about a reporter named Anna who gets asked to cover the story of a murder where the victim turns out to be a childhood friend of hers. And in addition to that, the investigator on the case, Jack, also finds out that he knew the victim and finds himself a suspect in his own investigation. It's a mystery thriller that is now a TV series on Netflix. You might have recognized the title. It's been going around a bit. Sounds really interesting. It might be something you'd be interested in checking out, and it's on Hoopla. Another title that I've got for you guys available on Hoopla is Heated Rivalry by Reid. Some of you might recognize this one because it is a TV show on HBO Max that has been very, very heavily talked about. There's one season out right now. It has been renewed for season 2. But this is about 2 pro hockey captains of opposing teams, Shane and Ilya, who struggle to keep their relationship out of the press, but soon have to deal with the fallout when their secret comes out. It is book 2 in this author's Game Changers series. There are 6 books in the series, with book 7 having been announced. I haven't personally read this series, but I have a lot of friends in my book club who have and have watched the show and are very, very much obsessed with it. So if this sounds like that's something that would be of interest to you guys, if you've watched the show, if you're interested in the books now, and your library offers Hoopla, this might be something to check out because it's on there. One last title that I did find that's on Hoopla that's pretty popular that might be interesting for you guys, especially if you're an Agatha Christie fan, is The 7 Dials Mystery by Agatha Christie. This is about Bill Eversley and Eileen Bundle Brent, who attempt to solve the murder of Gerald Wald and unravel the mystery behind the 7 alarm clocks left behind in his room. It's a mystery that's now a mini-series on Netflix. It brings back characters from a previous Agatha Christie novel, The Secret of the Chimneys. I've read a few Agatha Christie novels myself and really enjoyed them. The mini-series on Netflix, I believe, stars Helena Bonham Carter, who is always fun to watch on screen. So if that's something you have caught on Netflix and are interested in the book that it's based off of, I would definitely give this one a look. And if you've got Hoopla, definitely check it out because it's on there. That's all that I had to share with you guys about Hoopla Digital. I hope that this video was helpful for you, whether your library system already has Hoopla and it's just something that you haven't taken advantage of, or been able to make use of. I hope that what I was able to share with you and what you were able to see on here in this video was enough to convince you that maybe it's something that you could make use of to help support your local library system. If it's something that your library doesn't offer and you think maybe that they should, hopefully this will give you enough information to talk to the right person about maybe adding that to the services that they offer to their patrons, if it's something that they are able to integrate into their system. But otherwise, if you enjoyed this video or you had any thoughts about what I shared, please feel free to share them in the comments. If you're a Hoopla user, what do you use it most for? What are your favorite things that your library offers through Hoopla? Just let me know. If you're wondering what's next on the channel, be sure to be on the lookout for my review of The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. This is the book about a woman named Lyra who gets chosen by the god Hades to fight in the Crucible, which is a fight that happens every 100 years where mortals are chosen to fight on behalf of the Olympian gods in order to select the next ruler to sit on the throne. And it is the perfect mashup of Percy Jackson and the Hunger Games that I am really excited to share my thoughts with you guys on it, because I really enjoyed it and had a really, really hard time putting it down. So definitely be on the lookout for that one. But if you enjoyed anything that you saw in this video today and would like to see more like it, definitely share your thoughts with me in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more content. I will see you guys next time, and happy reading!